This time, we took a trip out to the classic bike show at Stafford. Before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Now with COVID, and indeed life in general, it's been an awful long time since we took a trip out to the bike show. So before what the hell, meantime I'll get our bikes out and take a ride over and see what's going on. This annual event takes place at the Stafford County Showground, which is luckily just a few miles from where we live. So it seemed a worthwhile trip, and not a very long ride to get there either. The show featured quite a large number of British-made two-strokes from Villiers. These are in both on and off-road types. There were also the rather more exotic Scott twins on show, and a few of these were brought along by the Scott Owners Club. These are perhaps some of the greatest two-strokes ever created and a great favourite of ours as a family. They really are a stunning piece of equipment for their time. From Eastern Europe, there was of course a very nice collection of CZ Jowers. As you might expect, there was also a number of side valve singles from the 1920s on show, like this Triumph and this BSA. For those with a more competitive vein, there was this oil-cooled Dot and this very nice overhead Cammet. As you might expect, there were a number of big V-twins on show, like some Brough and Vincent, although of course this particular Vincent is a Comet single. If you like machines more post-war, there was of course quite a few Triumph Speed twins. This is a particularly early just post-war model, and of course let's not forget the Gold Star. There were certainly quite a few of these on show, but sadly none of the new models. BSA had a stall of their own, which included a number of twins, and of course the Rocket 3. Bringing the Brit bikes into the 70s were a number of Harris and Rickman Matisse machines on offer too. The show also featured a smattering of big American V-twins, both from Harley Davidson and of course from India. The Japanese Bike Owners Club brought along a wide selection of machines like the Skatana, Z9 and some very nice two-strokes. They gave a very broad spread of what Japan has to offer. Of course, there were plenty of CBXs, as these mighty six-cylinder machines had a stand all of their own. The Japanese stand, of course, featured two-strokes aplenty, from square fours to 1970 500 parallel twin racers like the Suzuki. There was, of course, lots of Italian iron on show, from Moto Guzzi's to early Ducatis, and of course other V-twins from Moto Morini and the incredible four-cylinder race MV bikes. Although to be honest, the most incredible thing about an MV is almost certainly the price that they fetch at auction. And here lies a big problem with the show today. There used to be a larger number of bigger stands for each of the clubs, but now it's all about the auctions and the auto jumble. And the auctions for me are a big problem because they are forcing the price of classic bikes way out of the reach of ordinary riders who won't actually use the things, instead into the grubby hands of collectors. If anything, there were almost as many machines on show outside waiting to be sold, and this for me made the whole show a bit of a disappointment. So as we got back to the bikes, we reflected on what was somewhat of a letdown of a day really. Too much emphasis on auctions and not enough on the show itself. The show just seemed somewhat disorganised and random, with auto jumbles next to club stores. And our big fortress of road home was, would we attend the show again? To be honest, I'm not so sure. I've no great interest in buying a bike at auction, but I do want to look at machines in a really nice setting where there are plenty of bikes on show. To me, there seemed too few bikes on show, too many bikes for sale, and too much auto jumble. It really wasn't what I paid £15 for. And let's face it, that's a fair amount of money for what was really just a big auto jumble. So for me, a very disappointing day on reflection. To be honest, if you're into classic bikes, I think you'd be much better off saving your money and going to visit a classic museum instead. Or perhaps visit some VMCC events where you can actually see the machines running, where they're actually alive and kicking. Well, I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and of course, thank you very much for watching.